So I really relax that into the floor, and for me, I am actively pushing a little bit into the floor. You'll notice that I'm extending my foot slightly out. And so even though I found a tremor, I'm still playing with how much I'm bending the knee up towards my shoulder, or how much I'm extending it out straight.
Can you name this one again?
Can?
Can.
And so for me, what I'm doing is right now I'm experimenting with where I'm bending the knee and where I'm pushing with the heel. Right now I'm trying to push with the outside of the heel. I try to push with the inside of the heel, it goes away. But that's because my knees and hips are built a certain way. It really is about getting specific with it and keeping everything else relaxed. Please indulge me while I do the other side just to balance out.
Hi.
Mother of pearl, okay. Great, the one we just demonstrated was the pelvic tilt. And I will start by scooping my lower back towards the floor, which provides a nice lift to my hips. And then lifting my knees up away from my hips while keeping my butt relaxed. And that's where the tricky part comes, because normally I'm just going to go into like a yoga bridge. I'm going to keep my core tight and my butt tight while I try to go up into that thing. But the goal here would be, after I get not even my hand width off the ground, I let that butt get really heavy and actively fall towards the ground so my knees are resisting it, turning the legs into like a rubber band that's stretching. For me, this is a key one because me, like so other, sorry, it's hard to talk about it. Myself, like so many other people, do weird things with their back and hips from sitting all the time. Good story, doesn't it? You asleep?
What?
Are you asleep?
What?
Are you asleep? Okay. You snore when you're awake?
Did I snore? Really? Oh my god.
So big.
And so for me, if I want to increase the tremor, it's about taking the tailbone and reaching the tailbone up. So if I wanted to get a really big workout, that's what I do. But if I want to just get something to wake up the hips, I'll lift the legs. What is it? My fly down?
No, it's my fly down.
Oh no, my head did become unbuttoned. That's all.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I noticed that's not what I was looking at. but-
Okay. We've done the legs up a million times. This is the dying cockroach. I put the Zafu under to make sure my hips are up and my belly's relaxed. You can have the option of reaching your hands up towards the ceiling, and I just reach my heels up. And again, it's not just letting the heels float up. I'm pushing through my heels while keeping the rest of my legs released. And if you want, you can go a bit crazy with it. Try to make sound while you do it. Or you can let it be subtle and really release the abdomen to let the breath change. You can also start by going into the dying prostitute, or the flying V, or the open book, depending on what you want to call it. The third iteration of this is the happy baby, which is the same thing. I'm just going to hold on to my toes. That one's really good for your lower back. We've tried this one in partners, the half plow. You know, when I put on my bow tie this morning, I thought, I'll probably have to tremor today. This is going to be quite uncomfortable. It is. I'm really letting my knees fall towards my chest, even though my heels want to outstretch. Again, the natural inclination is when you push through your heels, your whole leg goes like that. But I'm really looking at two different muscle groups here. I'm looking at the muscles that push and the muscles that pull. I'm activating them both at the same time and really taking that active release into the thighs. If I don't release the thighs, nothing happens. But it's when I release the thighs. And I should point out, I'm not shaking my legs. This is what's happening. It's just what's happening. Okay. Those are all the positions on your back. So it's the half plow, the happy baby, the dying prostitute, the flying V, the open book, whatever you call it. I learned it as the dying prostitute, the dying cockroach, the pelvic tilt or pelvic hammock, and the can-can.
That's what we're doing for our final exam.
That's half of what you'll be doing for your final exam. Here's the other half.
Fast.
This is the bow. It's really important here that I'm just using not the muscles in my arms and my back. I'm not just trying to get up off the ground, but rather just take the legs down to the floor. Some people call this the rocking horse because there's a sort of constant back and forth.
So you're pulling yourself up with your legs.
Kind of. I'm taking my legs down to the floor while holding on with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And that is causing my body to rise up off the floor. But it's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not thinking, now lift your body up. If anything, I'm actually thinking, let the body fall, let the body fall, let the body fall. Because my natural inclination is to go, oh, okay,
No.
and hold it. And then still hold it. But then really releasing the chest and the shoulders. And if I want to get more height, making it about the legs. Similarly, it's the same thing with this. I'm not thinking, okay, push yourself up or pull yourself up. I'm actually thinking with my body, fall to the ground, fall to the ground. And again, you may notice, like the ones on the back, it's not a static position. There's constant shifts happening with my elbows, my shoulders, my legs, my head. The first one's called the bow, that one's called the cobra. It's my kneeling bow. That's terrible with a tie. I wouldn't recommend it. The trick with
Have to do what you just did.
you don't have to do the ones that hurt you, but these are all of the positions we've gone over thus far. So I'm going to demonstrate all of them, and then we'll go over a couple before we get out of here. The healthy cow. Let everything fall towards the ground. Slowly bend the arms, really letting the chest and shoulders fall down. Into the downward dog. That'll work. You know, when you really find it, you'll feel it travel up and down your spine like a lightning bolt. Drop down. The drop down. This is just rolling up the spine. I just like to let the tremor keep happening while I do it. Then I'll make a slight adjustment because my hips and knees are a little strange to try to bring them closer. And here I use the jump start from the drop down to fuel this. But really, it's just about letting the hips drop towards the heels, letting the knees be slightly apart, letting the tail and the hip relax, shoulders relax. Normally, we can sort of hold ourselves up with a variety of muscles. And here, I'm just telling my thighs to do the work, and they're tired, as you might understand. And again, there's a constant shift happening. I'm seeing what happens if I release my hips more, if I tilt them forward, I tilt them back, if I reach down with my tailbone, and letting the shifts happen. This is just called the standing tremor. And if I want to turn it to a standing bow, I do this just to keep my balance. I try to keep my knees bent, and I tilt my tailbone forward. And when I'm done, I'd go down into child's pose and rest. Actually, not that many positions. Hi, thank you. Thanks for watching.